Am I
Good
audible?
evening. Yes, Himadri.
Okay, great. Thanks. Welcome and let's start another brand new episode of Learning Series by Juno School of Business. I'm sure by now people who've been attending it frequently know that it's a platform wherein we discuss skills that would aid your corporate journey and make you a better sales professional. In fact, we all have been associated with the vertical of sales, and sales is one of the most rewarding careers one can undertake. And at Juno School, it is our endeavor to shape better sales professionals for tomorrow all across. Now, in fact, salespeople are the one who are actually driving revenues for every organization, and that's where significantly they contribute to the growth of the organization. More so, it's a human desire when we all want to grow in life, be it personal or as well as professional spaces. Now, growth can only happen if you're able to sell yourself to people. Now, that could be in a job interview, or maybe when you asking for a salary hike in your appraisal, or when you're managing your team and colleagues by selling ideas to people. Now, the better we sell, the more we grow in life. Now, the irony is that sales, having said that, the most widely used skill, never taught in any school or college in a structured format. So that's where, we thought that at Juno School, it's an endeavor to bridge this particular gap that we identify through interactive online sessions with industry experts, live activities and practice sessions, of course, detailed lectures and conversations. And we've kind of customized this in a 2-week module, a typical 8-week course, wherein we give you placement support also to make sure that you kickstart a great sales career, or people who are already into sales, they can, catapult it to the next level. Now, these webinars or masterclasses that we do are part of this endeavor. And every Saturday between 6 to 7 is when we hold these masterclasses. Now, if you want to gain insights and hear from people who've actually been there, done it, gone through that journey. So these are insights that you will get during these masterclasses, which cannot be taught through any textbook. So the idea is to gain from life and practical experiences so that we don't land up repeating the same mistakes that normally people do when they start their careers, right? In case if you want to know more about Juno School, you can always visit us at junoschool.org or schedule a chat with us at hello@junoschool.org. Now, having said that about Juno School, let me welcome our industry expert for the day. We've got Ronit. Now, if I talk about Ronit, Ronit is part of the customer service team at GTM Buddy. In his corporate journey, he's worked with organizations like LinkedIn, IMJobs, and Airtel. Another interesting thing about Ronit is that he was running his own podcast, right? So he's that creative person who likes to experiment and get that flavor in as well. In today's session, he will share his valuable insights on how do we get rid of those fears when it comes to our careers. And I'm sure, these are so-called fears that something we all must have been facing, or we must have faced at a given point of time in our careers, right? So there is nothing that we can't relate to, because this is a journey that everybody goes through. And in that journey, we all have our certain set of fears. So thank you so much, Ronit, for squeezing out time for us and being part of the Juno community. On this note, I request him to take over and share his insights with all of us. Over to you, Ronit.
Sure. Thank you so much, Himadri. First of all, let me ask you, am I clear on the mic?
Yes,
Everything?
absolutely. Loud and clear.
Right,
We can
right.
absolutely see you
Sure.
and hear you. All loud
Sure.
and clear.
First of all, Himadri, lovely energy. Now I feel I should be more energetic while I speak. So thank you so much for pumping me up for
Right.
this session, and thank you so much for, hosting me today. Would also call out Tarun, who reached out to me on Insta and just pinged me, and I said, lovely, definitely would love to share. And that's when I was actually going through the videos of Juno,
Mhm.
right? And first of all, three people out of the from that list of videos that you have mentored me, like Aman, Jayant, Piyush. So definitely I won't call myself industry expert. I definitely have a long way to go, but where I see myself is understanding the problems of the kind of people who are just starting their careers,
Yeah.
and also relating with them their problems, and also helping them out to just meander around things which people don't talk about, right? And that's why I, when asked about the topic, right, I mentioned that let me talk about fear. And I think fear is something that we don't talk, but it's always there, right? And
True.
sometimes it becomes the elephant in the room. And if we don't address it, sometimes it can lead to a lot of bad things as well. So On that note, let me share my screen. Just before I do that, is everyone okay with English? And is in Hindi okay sometimes, or how is it? How does people want to hear from me?
You can
Himadri?
do a mix, Ronit. I think we are all
Okay.
good with both the
Is the
languages.
audience comfortable?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
Pankaj, you were trying to say something?
yeah, English and Hindi is fine. Both we can
Yeah,
use
yeah,
both language. That is fine.
Sure. Anywhere you don't understand anything, just stop me there, ask me. I mean, I don't have any issues with time, so I can always clarify that.
Yeah,
Sure.
On that note, let me share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yeah, we can see your screen, Ronit.
Okay, so as I told, right, I'm not your industry expert. I am not someone who can give you some magic pill today. What I'll talk to you is on fear from your career that people don't talk about, and as a friend, right? I think we need people who can actually be a confidant to some people close by, and that's what I'm trying to be. Let me start off by saying that Juno's YouTube channel is great. If you really want to learn things, I came across a lot of videos, and the first time when Amandeep Singh did the podcast, I loved it. I saw that, then I saw multiple videos, but it can scare you. I'll tell you why. Because the YouTube channel talks about sales skill. How do you build teams? How do you do branding? Everyone is on Insta, everyone is on LinkedIn nowadays. They are posting learnings from even layoffs nowadays, right? Then building your resume, how to get your dream job. People are selling courses, so many things to do, and you'll all find there on that channel. The problem is, when you consume so much of content, you see so many things, and not only Juno, it's abundance, right? Nowadays it can scare you, and that's where I'll share my experience of how certain things have affected me and how did I overcome those aspects of life, right? Because these aspects are not talked about, but these are always there with you. Maybe sometimes not during the day because you're busy with your work, you're meeting your clients, but when you go and into your room after your hard days of work, certain things can definitely bother you, and that's where I'll talk about from my entire journey of 5-6 years how it has been. So fears, right? What are the kind of fears that we have? The first one which I see is fear of failing, fear of getting rejecting, the rejection failure, right? So a lot of people who are taking the courses will apply to jobs, and definitely there will be few lucky ones will get it at the very first go, but there will be a lot of people who will not get at the very first go. You have to knock the doors twice, thrice, or maybe more than that. You have to take rejections. There will be other people's opinion as well. Your friends, your family's opinions will change with time. Your actions, you would like to do something in life, in your career. Today, for example, like when Tarun started Juno School, if today that had been started by someone young, maybe 20 years old, their parents would have told, भाई तुम क्या कर रहे हो, तुम ये सब मत करो, I mean, कुछ नौकरी कर लो. But because Tarun has proved himself in multiple roles and he has a good pedigree, people didn't question him. But people will question you sometimes or the other. You will make wrong choices. The third point out here, it's not that you'll always make the right choices, and it's okay. And that's where we'll also come to how I made some wrong choices and things have been okay post that as well. Fourth point is again my favorite, and I'll spend some time on that, is where you talk about being underskilled. And the fifth one, a hot cake for today, layoffs. We hear Udan laying off, we hear Twitter laying off. So these are the fears that normally in a career you will face. And if you want to add something, please feel free to stop me anywhere and say that you also want to add something. Would be a great learning for me as well. Now let's take one by one, right? So the first one, this picture out here, I hope you can see my cursor. This is when I decided to leave my corporate career. I decided to join an NGO. Definitely something which people might not hear all the time, right? Why are you leaving a job and then you are going to some rural area. It was called Khate Gao. The name only had Gao in it, right? So I was going to a rural area, and so many people came and said that I think things are not going well. You need to consult maybe professional in terms of your career. You are not going in the right direction. So many opinions, not only from friends but family as well. The thing is, point A, what is the definition of failure? Whenever someone is saying something, it's their opinion. Please understand, they are not wrong. It's just their outlook towards the world, how they look at it. Sometimes they might have good intentions. They don't want you to fail, right? But their definition of failure is something else. You might get away by maybe not getting a promotion, but your father will be not happy for you not taking an LIC, right? So definitions of certain things are always not the same for everyone. You need to be clear whenever you're taking a bold step in life, is that what is your definition of failure? The second point is know what you're seeking. I was pretty clear when I started my MBA in 2015 in Bangalore, right? I was part of a tier 2 B school, which was Vanguard Business School, pretty new that time. I was pretty clear the moment I actually repay my education loan, I'll work for an NGO. The moment I cleared it, it was Feb 2020, March 2020, I thought it was a good time. Lowe's was not working good for me, and I decided to actually join an NGO. It was something something that I was seeking for a long time. Now it's very difficult to explain certain things. Now what did I get from joining an NGO, right? I actually have become more grounded. Is it really possible to make someone else understand that you're grounded? No. It's completely your understanding of your own self. You can't really make someone else understand that you're grounded. No, that's your ongoing journey. But I was seeking for those values as well. Those are important for me. I wanted to take a break and look back at life and see, okay, what exactly do I want to do? Because when I have loans on my head, and maybe some people have gone through loan repayment, especially maybe education loan, things are not in your control. You can't leave your job midway. You have to find for a better pay master. So many variables out there. So I was aware that, okay, what I was seeking, the moment education loan was over, I went ahead with it. Now the same people, interestingly, you won't believe, the same people who were criticizing me, and again from their own outlook, were flooding me with calls when I joined LinkedIn, because no one thought that once I left and joined an NGO, my people thought that, okay, my IQ has gone really down. How will I get selected for LinkedIn, right? And I still remember that day when I was with my girlfriend, who is now my wife as well, that I was saying, okay, I think I need to just switch off my internet, because I am not that Facebook friendly or Insta friendly. So I think I need to switch it off, because I really don't want this attention. Because I know the number of things that I've heard before this, right? So coming to the main point, which is failure or rejection, please, please, please don't let anyone define your failure, right? Tomorrow when you don't hit your numbers during a quarter, it should not affect you to such a level that you leave that job, or maybe don't perform the next quarter. It's always about bouncing back. When you get rejected from a job or an interview, right? Please understand that there is a feedback that you can seek and understand where you can improve. No one is perfect, and at the very beginning of our career, no one, including me, I'm not that senior to you guys, no one is perfect. It's okay to seek feedback, work on it, and take rejection in a positive way. That how can you actually improve yourself, right? no one, there's something called the princess syndrome. No one will come and rescue you. Please understand that you all are grown-ups. No one will come and rescue you. It's your life, your responsibility. You have to have a positive outlook towards these kind of things, because these kind of things will keep happening. Maybe not at the length and breadth equally, but it will keep happening. You have to take it in a positive way. The next point: others' opinion and judgment. So here is an interesting story. When I was starting this Bengali podcast, right, I was not sure whether it will be actually well received by people, right? Will I get people to interview? So the first person who trusted me was a very close friend of mine whose journey has been really great. He comes from a place which is from the outskirts of Bengal, from a Bengali medium. He did his engineering, then he learned equity by listening to equity markets, by listening to news. Then he cleared his CFA. 7 years after working at one of the biggest IT organizations in our country, the person left that job, joined a startup in Mumbai, and the person lost his job in a month's time. Imagine him leaving his job, right? Moving from Bangalore to Mumbai and losing his first finance job in a month's time. Scary. I'll take a pause for you to understand. It's scary. But the way he bounced back, and now he has cleared level 2, he's appearing for level 3 as well, doing great in his life. And I said, okay, this is something which people should get to know. Why should always people get to know about Rabindranath Tagore? These people are class above, right? I mean, you are born with, some people are born with genuine talent. But what about people like us who you see on a daily basis, right? You need to draw inspiration from them, because those are the people you'll see on a daily basis. Maybe on YouTube, or I mean on the internet specifically, you can actually see Shah Rukh Khan, anyone, Amitabh Bachchan, on anyone from any field. But on a daily basis, when you interact with on a daily basis, these are the people. So you need to understand that these are the people whose stories will actually help you move from point A to point B. Point Z is very far away, right? You need to first move from point A to point B. And that what was my thought process while starting my podcast. So coming to the point, I took his interview. He trusted me with his time. I took his interview, and then I didn't know how to edit it. I was looking for people, didn't get it. Work was, I mean, it was the March quarter, so definitely salespeople will understand March is a busy month. Then my mom went through an accident. These things took a back seat. A lot of things were happening. And then it was almost like the 7th month, and I really was panicking that, okay, now it cannot go so long. January I took the interview. I am doing injustice to that person. The problem in between also, what happened, I realized later, was that I discussed this idea with a lot of people, and so many people gave me so many opinions, that I lost faith in the whole vision that I had for the podcast. And I subconsciously, I was delaying it. Maybe I was looking for the best case scenario. Best case scenario will never come. Please understand that. The moment I understood that, I launched it. I have a team now. And in 3 months' time, I have recorded all the episodes of season 1. Guests for season 2 have actually been finalized. And the picture that you see out here, this person, his name is RJ Roy. He's one of the famous RJs in Calcutta. I actually used to be a fan of this person. When I started doing cold emails, or rather cold pitch on Instagram to these people, I was scared that, okay, no one will reply. I was scared my friends would be, proving me right that definitely no one will respond. But you know what? A lot of people responded. I've taken interview of a director, of a music director, of a musician, of an RJ, of a restaurant owner. I've taken across fields, and the most interesting person who actually said yes and will be featured, maybe in season 2. There's a band named Indian Ocean. I spoke to the tabla player of Indian Ocean. Indian Ocean is my favorite band, and the person said yes, he would do that once he's free. Now, just think about Jan or Feb month, and I'm right now in November. People were giving me opinions. It was not getting launched. Personal problems will always stay. And look at now, I have season 1 ready. Season 2 will be finalized. Just look at how I have made my life difficult for myself just by not acting and just listening to other people and not listening to my own self who actually came up with this idea, right? So you need to be cautious when you share your thoughts to the person that you're sharing. And also you need to have a filter in your ears. You need to understand what you should take from the conversation that you're having. The next one, making wrong choices. We all sometimes feel that, okay, the company that my friend took, I think he made the best choice. And my company is okay, but I think he has cracked it. Am I taking a wrong bet on my company? Should I go for another interview? The thing is, the grass will always be greener on the other side, right? So when I joined the talent acquisition team at Lowe's India, the person who hired me, I didn't join his team, and that happened to be a disaster for me because I'm sorry, I had spoken to that person. Just give me a moment, please. Because I was not from an HR background. I clearly told that person that I need the mentoring, need that support, because it's completely different. I used to manage clients with revenue targets, and now it's like hiring, working internally. I have no idea. But I joined a different team, dynamics didn't match, and there were internal changes happening, and I thought, okay, I think it's better that I move on to something else, which without staying stuck at one place, right? Now, had I stayed there by any hook or by crook, or maybe if I had taken some other job rather than going for an NGO, things would have been different, right? But what I did was I just experienced it the way it was. I thought, okay, my goal was clear that I'll take a break after I am done with my repayment of loan. I am clear that this is not working out for me. So it's better to experience the way it is than judging, because when you judge, you make it difficult for yourself. The next thing that I did was, the point 2 is making most of my resources. I had some finances in place. Now I knew that I could actually take that risk. So my point out here is that don't fear about making wrong choices. Rather, take a step. If you can make it right, it's fine. If it doesn't, it's okay. Because there's another door also open which you may not be seeing from that same point of view. You need to work on your point of view. Maybe your outlook needs to change. But one thing is that please focus on the resources that you have. For example, we all have books lying at our home. We know that we need to read, but we don't read. Maybe reading that book that you have been actually procrastinating can help you get your next job. Maybe using that free 6 months LinkedIn Premium, which you have not used till now, can get you the right skills. Why not look at the brighter side of things? Because negatives will keep happening with you. Negatives are not in your control. positives are in your control. The next part, and I do also play the guitar, and this is a picture of me when I played for an NGO while I was working for Lowe's, and definitely one of the days that I still remember, because I feel fortunate that I took that call. I was working with that organization, and I got that opportunity to actually give them this particular day where they normally don't get to see all these musical instruments. I think during Christmas, right? In an NGO, it was a great experience. So whatever went there, I still remember this moment. Now, one thing that kept haunting me during Lowe's was, am I underskilled? Trust me, it's a good thing. Because I still remember when I left Lowe's, and there were few roles which were pending to be hired for almost 6-7 months. I had been working on them for maybe around 2.5 months, and I've closed it. And I still remember the head of a vertical was telling me that you let me know whenever you need a recommendation. You can give my number. I'm always there. Now, if you can relate, it is a good thing, because I didn't know about talent acquisition, but I learned it on the go, definitely with the help of my colleagues. And I actually have gathered some skills. Just think now, if I would have been highly skillful out there, the job would have been obsolete for me. I would have not enjoyed only. The rush would have not been there. The next point out here is that identify what you're lacking and just act on it. So here, I mean, Juno school, right? They are teaching sales, which sometimes I feel that no one actually thinks about. Now, in sales, you'll have multiple aspects. For example, communication. Go and join Toastmasters. Maybe storytelling, right? Maybe email communication. Take a course. You need to identify and act on it. Trust me, these 2 steps can make your job easier. Just identify something wherever you are underskilled you feel, and act on it. The good feeling that you'll have once you complete that course and you learn something new, you will see this as a blessing that you were underskilled because you learned something new. Yes, the hot cake of the day. And I really, again, as I said at the very beginning, that I wanted to keep it very short. Definitely not an industry expert, but as a friend, I can always relate to layoffs or being fired. Today, the hot cake is Twitter laid off a lot of people. And it is a reality of life that it's not in your control, right? How you can prepare is something is in your control. But how do you do that? Now that you are appearing for interviews, or maybe you will appear and join an organization, right? You need to learn finances. I'm not asking you to be Rakesh Junjunwala. Please don't get me wrong. No one is actually expecting you to do that. But at least the basic finances that you should maintain. Having your insurance in place, saving for that rainy day. This is something very basic. Please understand that layoffs and being fired, right, is not in your control. Even it does not actually say that you're bad. It's just that situation, right? You need to understand that. The next part of handling a layoff or being fired, right? I feel so sorry that people don't talk about this, but have a support system. This picture is from my colleagues at Lowe's, and I feel so happy that they have supported me when I was going through a bad phase. This is Vignesh, Shubhajit, and I'm taking those names because I really feel happy. These people have really helped me. Not only them, but also my friends, who one person was in Canada stuck due to COVID, people in Calcutta, right? I was that time in Bangalore. These support system help you take one day at a time. Otherwise, it's very difficult. I know I'm sometimes I feel that I'm scaring you. I'm just giving you a reality check. My motive is not to scare you, but to help you understand that these are the elephants in the room, to be very honest. You might disagree that they might not happen to you, but not everyone is lucky. The third and a very personal point for me is that not being an escapist, right? Whenever you're going through bad phase in your life, please don't take, I mean, that escape route. For example, people don't eat or don't come out of their room, take a negative step in their life, or drink a lot. I think we don't talk about all these things, but being an escapist will not help, right? Layoffs or being fired can again help you introspect, come back to the drawing room, help you understand, okay, what you're good at, what you can actually do from here on, and relook at life. Because like your laptop gets restarted somewhere or the other during a few months, because half of the people don't shut their laptop off, your life also sometimes need a restart, and it's completely fine. Whenever I've been stuck at life, I have always felt that there is something that I should explore in myself, and podcast or music or running. I used to do runs when I was in Bangalore. These things will help you overcome those not so controllable times. And the last and the important point, when I go to the next slide, and that sums up my entire presentation out here, is be fearless. Please, 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 it's a request. If you, in this Instagram world, people only showcase on the social media what they are good at, right? We scroll everyone's profile and see why they are going for this vacation, they have this new watch or that iPhone. The sad part is we don't open our profile and scroll through our feed. Everyone feels grass is greener on the other side. Please focus on your strengths, and just you will be fine. You just work on your strengths, manage your weakness. I'll not say we are not that privileged that we can do away with those weaknesses, but focus on your strengths and be fearless. Things will be fine. The moment whenever I took a sabbatical, people told this is not the right decision. I was clear. I actually got good returns out of that. The returns are something which I can value, not others. When I started the podcast, everyone criticized. Now when I got a few pictures, right, and I posted them online, people are like, oh great, you're doing this. Same people were like, no, this won't work. The problem is you don't need everyone's opinion all the time. When I was taking, I still remember my colleague at Airtel, right, when I was joining. So I did get an offer from OYO before joining IIM Jobs. Just a moment. And IIM Jobs interview still that time hadn't happened. And that time, I think 2017, startups were still coming up. The trust on startups were not that great. Airtel, all the big companies, all those PwC or Nestle, people used to still talk good things about them even now. But I honestly feel that startups gives you better exposure. One person told me what I think he referred to Steve Jobs is, you can only connect the dots going backward. And that's what happened. Glad I left Airtel, because it was not the right environment for me. It was not the culture that I wanted to be associated with. And that's when I realized that, okay, now I feel I've taken that great step, that I joined IIM Jobs. And one of the best learnings I had under the mentorship of Jayant, Amandeep, Piyush, my friend Karan, who is again at LinkedIn right now. I really feel thankful for all the colleagues I had. So again, ending my short kind of presentation that I had is, please, please, please be fearless in your life. Thank you so much. Over to you, Himadri. Himadri, are you there?
Yep. Guys, any questions you have for Ronit? Anybody, any questions, anything that
You
you
can
guys
ask
want
in
to ask?
Hindi as well. I mean, completely fine with any language. Hindi, English. I am again a Bengali, so anyone from Bengal can also ask me. But yeah, please ask me the questions. I know these topics are something which normally we don't talk about. We only talk about a lot of things that are very relevant. But I feel when I was asked about to do this presentation that these points are important. So maybe feel free. I'm there. You can ask the questions.
Guys, any questions you have, anything that you want to add or probably share, any experience that you had and how did you come out of it? Anybody, please feel free to add or ask Ronit. Anyone? Or are you guys fearful of sharing your fears or asking questions around the fears?
That's completely fine. I completely understand. I have been on the other side where I have been also been silent, so I can completely understand. Oh, Hemant has it. Yeah,
Okay,
बताओ
Hemant has
Hemant.
a question. Great.
Hi Ronit, I'm sorry, but I've not been in your introduction part.
Okay.
So could you please introduce yourself again?
हाँ एकदम so Hemant I am actually working at the customer success team at a startup called GTM Buddy. Prior to this I was working with LinkedIn, IM Jobs and Airtel, predominantly in the sales part. I have been in B2B sales. I have also taken a leap of faith with talent acquisition, had taken a sabbatical as well. And on a personal front, I am doing a podcast currently. And on my free time, I'm a big time movie buff or a music fan. So I listen to all kinds of music. So yeah, that's something. I play the guitar as well. So yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Guys, any questions for Ronit? No? Nobody? No questions? Nothing that you would want to add?
Pankaj has himself muted. कुछ बोलना है पंकज?
Yes, Ronit. So, Ronit, as you mentioned that you were already the part of sales and into the talent acquisition as well. Okay. So, what means kind of like I need some suggestions from your side because I'm also into the part of talent acquisition into the sales. Recently, I moved into the sales.
कौन से कंपनी में हो आप?
एक मिड स्टार्टअप है इको डैश प्राइवेट लिमिटेड इन अहमदाबाद गुजरात.
अच्छा.
ओके एंड रिसेंटली मतलब अराउंड 2 to 3 months हो रहे हैं मैंने भी अपना खुद का एक स्टार्टअप अभी लॉन्च किया है.
अच्छा.
बेस्ड में जुकलू आईटी कंपनी के लिए.
ओके.
सो मतलब
हाँ आपका क्वेश्चन मुझे समझ में नहीं आया. अगर आप फिर से अगर पूछेंगे.
हाँ मतलब मेरा क्वेश्चन मतलब ये है कि मतलब आपका ऐसा क्या कि जो अभी जैसे कि मैंने रिसेंटली सेल्स में मूव किया फ्रॉम टैलेंट एक्विजिशन फ्रॉम रिक्रूटमेंट टू टैलेंट ये सेल्स. सो उसमें बेटर ऑप्शंस मतलब क्या करियर ग्रोथ के लिए क्या सेल्स ज्यादा अच्छा है या टैलेंट एक्विजिशन?
देखो बात ये है कि आई हैव सीन माय कलीग्स फ्रॉम टैलेंट एक्विजिशन अर्निंग एंड डूइंग रियली वेल, राइट? If you are looking at a good salary, even they have it. They are working with MNCs, right? Sales में भी बहुत सारे मेरे बहुत करीबी दोस्त sales में भी है. They are also doing really well. So if you're looking at from a salary point of view, definitely both the careers are lucrative. But you need to understand कि आपका skills कहाँ पर है. आपका अगर स्किल्स आपको लगता है कि अच्छा यू कैन एक्चुअली मे बी यू आर गुड एट हायरिंग पीपल, राइट? मे बी यू शुड स्टिक टू योर स्ट्रेंथ. मैंने ये चीज़ कहा कि इन माई इंटरेक्शन टुडे, राइट, व्हाइल आई वाज प्रेजेंटिंग, इज दैट फाइंड योर स्ट्रेंथ एंड वर्क ऑन इट. अगर आपको लगता है देखिए पंकज, मैं आपको नहीं बोल सकता कि आपका स्ट्रेंथ क्या है, वो आपको ढूंढना पड़ेगा. लेकिन मैं ये बोल पा सकता हूँ कि अगर आप स्ट्रेंथ पे ज़्यादा फोकस करोगे, दैट विल बी मोर हेल्पफुल फॉर यू बिकॉज आप वो एंजॉय भी करोगे rather देन वर्किंग ऑन समथिंग. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आज लोग ये भी बोल सकते हैं कि अरे मार्केटिंग तो बहुत अच्छा है, बहुत ज़्यादा रिवॉर्डिंग है, बट द थिंग इज दैट आई मे नॉट एंजॉय मार्केटिंग, राइट? मेरा स्ट्रेंथ वो है नहीं. Rather than I'll stick to something that my strengths are.
Okay, yeah.
So this is something, yeah.
No, जैसे कि मतलब earlier I also joined Airtel, Bharti Airtel into
अच्छा.
telecom industry.
अच्छा.
Okay. but there also I was into the marketing, like for the land acquisition.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, so miss me and my brother, my elder brother, real brother, they both are into Airtel only. Okay,
Okay,
earlier.
okay, okay,
So now my elder brother joined DMart as a deputy manager.
okay.
Okay, so means once I joined the Airtel, so I means it was not kind of my job because I went to land, so I left in within a 3 days itself only.
No,
Okay.
that's fine. See, the thing is that sometimes it will not go the way you want, right? And it's. I understand maybe there were some challenges from the Airtel side as well, that they might not have been able to give you the right kind of role that they had maybe decided previously. But the thing is that at the end, the ball is always in your court. Please understand, it's your career. You have to take ownership of it. If you feel that you're not enjoying somewhere, आप आगे बढ़ जाओ, completely fine. There's nothing wrong with it, right? So
Yes.
that's something which I'll say always. आप हमेशा वो ध्यान रखना, 3 दिन हो कि 3 साल, आपको शायद कोई जॉब 3 साल बाद अच्छा ना लगे, it's okay, completely fine.
Yes.
Thank you Pankaj, thank you so much, and all the best for your new transition.
Yes, thanks.
Hello.
Hey Kev, I love your name, by the way.
So my question is, I guess most of the people here joining this, attending this meeting and all, they are near to me. I am recently graduated here only, and since I was in my final year, I got placement. And so I need to continuously speak to CEOs and CEOs.
कैफ, आपका आवाज ना मुझे उतना नहीं आ रहा. इफ यू कैन जस्ट स्पीक अ लिटिल लाउडली, मैं आपका क्वेश्चन और बाकी लोग भी सुन पाएंगे शायद अच्छे से.
Hello.
या कैफ, बेटर.
Is this sound
या
possible?
हाँ, एकदम बताओ ना.
All right. So what I'm saying here is, I think most of the people here in this meeting are senior to me. I'm recently graduated this year only, and I got placement in sales domain. So I'm working with a SaaS company. In 10 months since I joined, and I have to continuously speak to the CEOs and CTOs. So most of the time, when I figure out an app that okay, this app can work, I can reach out to this company and we can have a partnership. So, before that, I checked your LinkedIn profiles and I found out that okay, this is your role. Right, it is very senior and the company is very big. I started, I get underconfident. What if he'll not take me seriously? Like, how will I speak to him? Right? Because, I'm just recently graduated and all these things. And most of the time, when I speak to my colleagues, they said, okay, try कर लो. क्या ही होगा लास्ट में, मना ही कर देंगे.
करेक्ट. हाँ.
Try. I tried reaching out to various CEOs and all, and while talking to them, they take me very, very seriously. They say, okay, what is the proposal and all. But again, these things are going very smoothly for 6 months. But after 6 months, what happened? I got from my colleagues to start going on LinkedIn. Now, for the past 4 months, what I'm experiencing, and I'm reaching out to these CEOs. First, I spoke to them on call and WhatsApp and all these things. But the moment I reach out to them through LinkedIn, like this is my profile, let's connect. I feel like they, the respect they had for me, kind of respect. Once they saw my LinkedIn profile, that this is a fresh graduate, they go, respect with this. After, everything like they value.
कैफ, अगेन आई एम अनेबल टू हियर यू. आपका लास्ट पार्ट लिंक्डइन के बारे में आपने बताया, उसके बाद.
So now, when I am, contacting these CEOs and all, so after, talking with them for, let's say a week and all, so I, now I decided, okay, let's connect with them on LinkedIn. So I'll have to do my network as well, right?
Correct.
When I send them connection request, so after that, I feel like they don't take me, they start taking me, that it's a small guy, he just graduated, sort of thing.
नहीं, या तो कैफ, द थिंग इज इट्स अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन, राइट? और ये हम सबके दिमाग में आता है, टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट. the thing is that ये जो आप बोल रहे हो, right, that maybe they are not taking me seriously, or I'm too junior. uh, I feel that it is somewhere not them thinking, but it's in your head that you have assumed already. I'll give an example. Everyone out here has heard of Oyo rooms, right? Oyo, the brand. Yeah, Kef, आपने सुना होगा?
Yeah.
Yes.
Correct. Oyo, my age, he is junior to me, right? Does it really matter? All it matters is, are you solving someone's problem, and what is the value that you can offer? कैफ, जब आप नेक्स्ट टाइम आप किसी से बात कर रहे हो, राइट, एंड यू फील दैट दिस पर्सन इज नॉट टेकिंग यू सीरियसली, व्हाट आई वुड सजेस्ट इज, rather than focusing on that आप जूनियर हो, आपको आपका लिंक्डइन प्रोफाइल देख के शायद लोग सीरियसली ना ले, rather than आई थिंक यू शुड फोकस ऑन कि अच्छा मैंने रिसर्च सही से किया है, अच्छा मुझे इस कंपनी के बारे में पता है, जो मैं बेच रहा हूँ, जिसके बारे में मैं बात करना चाहता हूँ, वो प्रोडक्ट मुझे अच्छे से पता है क्या, मुझे उनका प्रॉब्लम पता है. जब आप सही सवाल करोगे, राइट, दैट अदर पर्सन will always think from his own angle that okay, this person is actually trying to solve my problem, let me answer his questions, right? आप वैसे देखो, rather than focusing on your weaknesses which you already have, and we all have some preconceived notions, right? Sometimes I do understand, I've been through that phase, but rather than thinking that way, why not look at the job at hand? You have a product, you want to sell that. How will you sell that? You have to identify the problem, what that person is facing, and be a consultant to that person. You should actually be able to solve the person's problem. Kev, मैं आपको बोल देता हूँ, and just let me know if this doesn't work. We can get on a call and again rework on it. Kev, my LinkedIn profile is there. Just reach out to me. Trust me on this would work. आप किसी का problem solve करो, your age will never matter.
No, I'll try.
Sure, Kev. Thank you so much, Kev. Interesting question. Anyone else?
Hello, sir.
Hi, Chitesh, right? That's how you pronounce your name?
Yes, sir.
Chitesh. Sir मत बोलो, you can call me Ronit. Good evening, Chitesh. Yeah, please बताओ. Please tell me.
So my name is Liz. I'm also into sales.
Okay.
And what happens normally when we go and approach clients, like in our routine follow-up work and like our day work, generally the clients don't give us a lot of time to us. So that is major issue. We are not able to talk, we discuss with them, and they being skeptical about salespeople, and many other people have already visited them. So general perception they are carrying. So at times we don't get enough time or like a connection with people over there when whatever we are selling. So is there a way that you can suggest that we can go out of the box and not the routine that we are doing, because we are already doing it at many places, not succeeding in some way? Is there any out of the box way to approach the same person in some other way, or like, because it becomes difficult at times when we are in our routine job, because there is a pressure from top.
True.
We have
True.
to do the like normal things.
एकदम pressure तो रहेगा ही, definitely.
So how can we do this?
Yes, Chitesh, absolutely great question. Thank you so much. So Chitesh, the thing is that I think the Juno school, right, they have great trainers who can give you the right answer. I'll just take a shot at it. What I would say out here is that you always need to stand out from the crowd, right? And how do you do that? Let me tell you how I have done in few instances, right? There is one lady who actually was not responding to the call while I was approaching for a podcast. And I thought, okay, I got her email ID. I gave a great subject line, okay, and made it very personalized. I gave a name. I mean, you can look at by Google how to personalize a subject line. I personalized it with a name and asked her a question. She replied. She said yes to my podcast. Right? Then I approached a comedian on LinkedIn and said that this is something that I do. Would you be interested? I communicated the value upfront that this is what I would be asking. This is what that I can, my presence on LinkedIn can help you with. The person's follower count was on the lower side, right? I said upfront that, see, I have this many follower count. If you're looking at a very transactional point, these are I have so many followers. I definitely feel that when I am going live with you, and I will also try to promote as much as possible on my page, right, or rather on my profile. Definitely, I feel I can add value. It may or may not happen. It's not in my control, but I can always give it a shot. This is from the transactional side, and then another side which I told why I really want to do a podcast with you is the real reason that I see you actually sharing a lot of content, and I feel you will actually have a great stories to share, and I have not found that online about you. Why not we explore that side? The thing is, when you communicate in this way, right, when you know a different problem to that particular person, for example, when you say that, okay, you know already a lot of people have gone, and still, for example, if I take Airtel scenario, when I was working at Airtel, so every day Jio is coming, Vodafone is coming, Tata is coming. Why should that person again entertain Airtel? You need to understand what they are looking at and why they are still actually giving me time. If the person has given me time, that means a person is looking to solve something. I need to understand that problem and find a solution to that. If I can find a solution, the person will receive my call, the person will respond to my email. See, every day you also get hundreds of emails, right? Do you read everything? But if there is a message that email that says that, okay, 1,000 rupees credited, you will open it and see who has sent you 1,000 rupees. It's always about that important email. You need to make your importance felt with that person, right? So that would be my answer to that.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jitesh.
Guys, any other questions you have for Ronit? Anything that you would want to ask or share? Any experience that you've had? Anybody? No? Okay, guys. So I think, Ronit, I think you've addressed most of the questions that people had, and thank you so much for lovely insights, because I'm sure pitfalls or fears are something that happens to all of us. It's just that, we're not very vocal about it. And as you said, today's world is all about social media. So I think it's a human nature that we want to always project what is good happening in our lives, rather than, sharing our fears and the shortcomings that we've already had. So I think this session would really help people to understand that life is a journey. There could be highs, there could be lows. So what is not important is that what depth of low you reach. What is more important is that how do you bounce back, right? Thank you so much, Ronit, for being part of the Juno community. And we're really thankful. And thank you to all our learners and people who've joined the masterclass. So let's connect next Saturday for another episode, and see you on Saturday, 6 o'clock sharp. Thank you so much for connecting.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Himadri. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.